Hello and welcome everyone to this lovely night we have here. My name is Guilford, welcome to the Academy of Witchwood, or at least the starter house we have currently. And let's start this episode off by eating a magic lollipop, should we? I mean, I have no idea what will happen. The effects are unpredictable. Let's see what this lollipop does for us. A summon horse timer has been cast on you. I made an advancement, not so bad. Okay, I have really no idea what just happened. Seems like I will have fancy particle effects for the next 4.5 minutes. Okay. You will also see that I have a shielding effect here, which has nothing to do with the lollipop. But instead, I realized that my magic cloth armor actually didn't work as it was intended, because there is a set bonus on this set here, which gets better if you wear more elements, as you can see. So I intend on having the full set on me at any time, but it gives me a little bit of mana regeneration and a little bit of max mana for Ars Nouveau and Iron Spells and Spellbook, as well as the shielding effect. So I'm a little bit more safe on that part. And I also, just before starting the episode, realized that my pocket piston can be upgraded, and it actually reached level 5, so the ability is ready to be unlocked. So let's do some clicks and see, what do we need? Is it another piston that we need to paint? It is. Increases maximum interaction range with the world by 28%. So I get more reach. Reach is a very, very useful thing to have. So, what's the plan for today? I'm planning on taking a look into Herbology. So, first of all, we got sage seeds last time. We actually also have herb jars. I just need to pick them up, which are very useful. They can hold up to 16 stacks of one item. And as you can see around me, there's more than 3 jars standing around. So I'll just pick them up and complete this task. And there's also the quest to find a swamp. There's a few things you can only find in a swamp, so I'm going to do that. And to find a swamp, a dowsing rod can be really useful. So let's start with that. A dowsing rod is crafted very simply by placing a few sticks around any kind of leaves. I just went outside and got myself a piece of leaf from my azaleas. And you can see it helps find swamps and jungles. So if you have a dowsing rod in your hand, you can see the leaves are changing color based on which direction I look. So currently I think this over here might be a good direction. If I shift right click, now I'm locating a jungle. If I shift again, now I'm locating a swamp. I also went ahead and got my 3 herb jars so I can get my skill reward. I'm still going for Arcane. And if I'm not wrong, I have a few pages here that are visible now. One of them is a dowsing rod. A dowsing rod? Really? Congratulations, students, you've invented pointing vaguely at the ground. It will find your resources eventually with enough patience and tears. But if you're serious about navigation, upgrade to a nature's compass. That thing doesn't guess, it tells you exactly where to wander off and die. Die? And while you're at it, get yourself an atlas. Scribble down your grand adventures so you don't forget which deadly swamp you already drowned in. Progress, student, from stick waving to actual cartography. So there's 2 quests here. One is for Nature's Compass, which needs one of each kind of archwood saplings a dowsing rod and a compass. I think I should be able to do that. And the other one is for an atlas, which needs slime or honey bottles, a book, and a map or a compass. So let's see if we have everything for those two things. These combined will give me an atlas. An atlas will once give me a new skill point, as well as some empty maps. So the thing with the atlas is, as you might have realized, there is no minimap in this pack normally, but now there is. The atlas is filled with maps. So you need to have maps, and you can get yourself an atlas, and with an atlas you can have yourself a world map by exploring. And you can remove the maps out of the atlas to pin them somewhere. And as long as the atlas itself is in your hotbar, you will have a minimap in the top left corner. So I will keep this here. And I think you can craft the atlas with empty maps to fill this up more, which I will do. To get more empty maps, which we can use for our atlas, we can just craft together some paper. Oh, I even have some. And with a special recipe with some slime balls or honey bottles. It's 8 paper plus a slime ball and results in 4 empty maps. This is a lot cheaper than the normal recipe, which is obviously still there, which is 1 empty map for 8 paper and a compass. But I felt like it's very expensive to have your mapping equipment based on empty maps when the empty maps are that expensive. So let's get a bunch of maps, put in our atlas, and we should be able to fill it up like this. 20 empty maps and 22. 1 compass with our dowsing rod and our saplings. Let's use this one. Gives us a nature's compass. So now that we don't have the dowsing rod anymore, how do we find a swamp? If you have a nature's compass, you can just right click and you will see all dimensions that are available in this pack. And you can see this is quite a few. You can just go ahead and search for, no, not jungle, let's search for swamp. There's a few different kinds of swamps. For example, a mangrove, a fire swamp, a dark swamp. You can see here it's dimension Twilight Forest or Eternal Starlight. We are searching for the normal swamp in the overworld, which is this one. If we go to start search, it will do a little work, and now you can see the compass is pointing into the same direction as the dowsing rod before. So we need to go over there, and in the top left you will also see the distance, around 3,500 blocks. I think I just found a giant starbuncle surrounded by sauceberries. Is there anything within that starbuncle? It doesn't seem to be the case. Oh well. In that case, I'll leave it as it is. Thank you for the sauceberries. I'll see you again. While I was saying I will see you again to the starbuncle just a second ago, here we have another one. Starbuncles are very cute, I think. And if you drop them some gold nuggets, they will go to the gold nugget, grab the gold nugget, and then leave you a few starbuncle tokens as small thanks. So whenever I see starbuncles, I'm going to give them gold if I have any on me, and we'll collect their tokens because they will come really, really useful later on. As you can see here, this is what happens if I'm not talking about that a certain chest might be trapped and you need to destroy the bookcases. Yeah, I just destroyed the whole tower, including all the loot. Oh well, that happens. And I just found a new thingy. I have no idea what this is. But let's go in. Got these sweetberry bushes everywhere. Let's go in and see a bunch of witches. Okay. Let's duke it out with these witches. My harm spell is really not the strongest. Let's see if I can win this fight before the poison gets me. Actually, let's get away for a second. Because I do have a ring of poison resistance. I just need to put it on. Okay. What is a witch with a poison? Nothing much. Alright. Enough looted. My first coffer is full. Let's fill up the second one too. And I'm just around 300 blocks away from the swamp, so let's go over there. And over there in the distance we have a swamp and a witch village. So I get to go looting again. Yay! Let's see what we can find. And we start off directly. Let me quickly get my harm spell and dispose of that witch over there. We directly get a witch's robe, which I personally find highly nice to look at. And as I have cosmetic armor, I can just put it above my school robe. And I think that looks quite cool. I mean, I also like the school robe. I better do, I designed it myself. But, yeah. I mean, that both is nice. But overall, let's keep the witch's robe on for now. And get to looting. There's a bunch of stuff I already have. For example, a blood sigil. I don't need 2 of those. But I will see what else there is to collect. Here we have why I needed to find a swamp in the first place. This is Mandrake. Mandrake is one of the key components to many things within Witchery, and I can harvest the whole plant, and the same goes for example, belladonna, which I can find in the swamp, and you need the plants to regrow some of the things. And while I'm here, let me also collect all the different flowers that I can find in swamps. So I'm going to collect all the different hexeri flowers that grow here, even though I probably got a lot by collecting jars. But hey, what I have. So I'll just collect a few and then probably go back to my base to see what's going on next. By the way, if you see in my mini-map or in my map here, there is not a lot to see, even if I scroll out real big. This is all that actually has been recorded because I've been using up the 32 maps that I had in very, very high speed. I do need a lot more maps to actually map out what I'm exploring. So you can see this is a lot of blank space that I have here now. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. I'm on my way back from the swamp and I did find another one of the giant pillars with the trees, like I've seen before. And this time it does have the secret room beneath. So it really is worth just digging down 2 blocks to see if there's anything below. So let's grab my new umbrella and slowly dive down. In this room, we have a few things that can be really useful. I can just tell you, if you find a room like that, go in it. It's worth your while. And soon enough, after a long journey, our starter base is finally back inside. Let me sort out all of my inventory and let's get into some potions, shall we? I'm pretty sure we have some interesting stuff we can brew. So, I'll be right back. Sage and mandrake root. Ah, yes. The classic combo of herbal tea and screaming vegetable. Dry the sage and you've got yourself a monster repellent. Like garlic for vampires, but smokier. The mandrake root though, that one's trouble. Distill it right and it whispers secrets of flight. Witch's broom's flight, to be exact. And let's be honest, student, nothing beats soaring through the sky on a stick, looking both majestic and mildly ridiculous. So burn the sage, ride the broom, and try not to fall off when you're showing off. I got the Swamp Herbs quest, and with that, this page here in the Herbology, which gives me the quest to craft a willow broom, and as well the dried sage bundle, which can be used for an hour to keep monsters away in a large distance, which is quite handy if you just need to be in peace when you build. I want to take a look at the alchemy path. Especially here, the first quest asks us to produce 3 bottles of night vision, and I think this can't be too difficult. To get to night vision, we can get or use golden carrots. That is probably the easiest way. Getting some awkward potion with nether wart. Oh wait, I don't have nether wart. I could also use abjuration essence to get awkward potion, but this is not really what I'm planning to do. At least for now. So the other way is to not go the normal way, but instead to craft a mortar and pestle. The pestle and mortar has long served alchemists, healers and cooks alike. With it, herbs and minerals are reduced to powders, opening the door to mixtures and brews of all kinds. There is a bunch of ingredients in this pack, which, if hovered over, will show undiscovered effects. Blue orchid, lilac, rosebush, pumpkin seeds, pretty much all the vanilla ingredients, as well as things like ferns and large ferns, sugar cane, but also things from Farmer's Delight like rice. There's a bunch of different stuff that has different effects, and with the mortar and pestle we can find out what it is. A bowl and a flint is all that we need for the beginning. Flint and a bowl gives me a mortar and pestle, and with that completes the quest. I'll get some poppies, some dandelions, and a choice reward. And how does it work? Placing the mortar and pestle in. Let me just take the poppy and dandelion, and I will see that I get a mesh with muck and mining fatigue. If I craft that mesh, I can now see that I can see here the effects of muck and mining fatigue on poppy and dandelion. So I found one combination. I actually have no idea what muck does, and I don't really want a potion of mining fatigue. So yeah, I'll just put that away. Nothing too interesting for now, but maybe wheat seeds, wheat, tomato seeds, or tomato have something more interesting. And you can put up to 8 different effects in one mesh. This one, for example, has stride, feast, nausea, and haste, which is a lot more interesting. And this will now also reflect on these. So wheat, for example, has the feast effect. Wheat seeds has feast and nausea. Tomatoes has stride, feast, nausea, and haste. And tomato seeds the same. So you can really experiment with different effects here, see what comes out of it, and if you're feeling fancy, enchanted golden apples also are a potion ingredient. So what is interesting here is, can we find the ones that give me the night vision effect? So I'll just take a bunch of different things that I have here, and we will see if there's anything for the not too expensive ones that will bring me what I'm searching for. The thing with this is it's totally randomized. What works for me today will not work for you, and if you tell me what works for you, I won't get any of that on the same effects because it is randomized on a seed level, which makes it impossible to figure out what might be there for somebody else. So far, no night vision. I don't like that. I really don't like that. It seems like I need to wait on creating potions like this until I have been to the Nether, at least for now. So let's not do that. But as I'm burning through some supplies here, maybe instead of going for the night vision potions, which I originally wanted to do, maybe I should go for a small greenhouse. It's not going to be big, I promise, but we will get bigger fields later on. See you in a moment. And here we have it, our little greenhouse next to our starter base. I think this area comes together quite nicely, and I'm very happy how this turned out. You can see there's a lot of plants in here, It's totally made out of copycat elements from the create mod. So you can see here copycat stairs, copycat slope layers, copycat panels, and copycat slabs. So everything here is just put together, and even though it's angled in a weird way, because the whole greenhouse is a contraption which I, well, just turned around, it still works, so I can close the doors, and everything in here is actually a real plant, so I can collect my belladonnas and mandrakes as soon as they've grown. And also the hanging pots here can be harvested. Obviously the normal pots are just normal pots, but overall I'm really happy how this turned out. So with this we will see what the Wandering Trader has to offer, and then I'm closing out the episode, and I'll see you back very soon. What do you have? Anything great? A Hone Edge Scroll, 429 gold ingots, sand, the Great Plate of Eternity, which sounds pretty nice, but I'm not going to go with that. But I might get myself the Hone Edge Scroll. Actually, let me grab my emeralds. And here we go. What a deal. Thank you very much. We'll take a look at scrolls the next time. This is Guilford signing off. Have a great day, have a great week, and see you on my next video.